Good morning and welcome as always to this week's The Positive Habit. I'm so happy to have you here. This week I'm going to do some really lovely gestures that will help you to access the idea of self-compassion and acceptance and how it feels physically in our bodies, and to start to open that door for you, the difference it can feel like to go through life with this amazing internal friend, your inner Rosie. Rosie has been making me laugh this morning. I was trying to get her to come over for the video and she wasn't having it. And then she was very compliant and she came over. And I just want to say, like, why I bring Rosie into these videos. Why is it important? Why was I trying to get her to come over? Well, I think that Rosie offers us something like any being that is conscious in a sense, whether that's a baby, whether that's a person, whether that's a dog, but this ability to be here, to be now, to offer us this lovely doorway into presence that we all have, that is within us, but having beautiful creatures, people, infants who are just more open to it, that they are more able to access it because their minds, quite simply, are not so busy. There isn't this spiral of thoughts going through it. So the first thing I'm going to do this morning is, as I said, these gestures, and then I'm going to go to the therapy on the couch question I have for this week. And what I love is that everything just kind of always ties together. Yes, I do plan what I want to say to you, obviously, but at the same time, as I'm speaking, and this is where I think when we enter into flow, when we enter into presence, things just start to come together and make an awful lot of sense, which is lovely, and what I always want for you as well. So with that in mind, let's just do some work on these self-compassion gestures. And I want you to really notice the difference about how you can choose to go through this week, either by taking a deep breath and making two fists and holding on. So this is the first gesture, okay? And this is a gesture where you're really holding on as tight as you can. I want you to close down your eyes and just feel the sensations in your body as you grip tightly. Don't hurt yourself, but just really grip your two fists as tightly as you can. And notice what starts to happen in your body, in your mind. Is there tension starting to arise? Are the muscles getting tight? How is your breath? Is it actually getting kind of constricted or shallow? Holding on, holding on, holding on as tight as you can. Like that phrase, to hold on for dear life. You're holding on, you're holding on, you're holding on. Really notice what that feels like. Take this time to reflect, to notice. And then take a moment, still remaining with this gesture, that what you're really doing is resisting. There's a sense of resistance, a sense of holding on and trying to control. So we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to hold it, and then we're going to move into the second gesture. So you can open your eyes for a moment, and all I want you to do is just allow your palms to open completely, and to open them out in the sense of receiving. Really feel, you can almost feel the air like that has been trapped inside now being allowed to release, to let go. So keep this open stance, close down your eyes for a moment, allow your shoulders to relax. Just start to notice again what happens in your body. Really observing this open stance. The gesture of the open palms facing up. A sense of receiving, perhaps also giving. And just allow that to settle in. And now from this place with your eyes closed, I want you to just make a decision about how you are going to go through this week. Are you going to go through the week with that sense of gripping and tightness? Or are you going to consciously choose to cultivate this openness, this sense of compassion towards yourself? And what I want you to do is just notice that there are going to be times in all of our week, in our lives, where we do start to tend to go towards that gripping place. But I want you to know that you can simply observe take a deep breath, and then just really even allow the hands to open out and return to that open stance. And that this is an act of self-compassion. Just noticing, observing, and letting go. Let's take a final breath together, deep in. Hold at the top and then opening up the eyes. Well done. I find that really powerful myself, to be honest, just noticing in my own self when I'm holding on too tight, and can we open up, and how kind that is. And then also how we can do that, of course, for others. All the work that we do together is to benefit the people that we love and everyone around us, and to make the world a definitely more compassionate place. Rosie's snoring away here now. A lovely background tune, aren't you, sweetheart? So what I want to do now is go to the question that I have for this month, and it comes from a listener, a viewer, and she says, or he says, I find it so hard to stop overthinking things and have low self-esteem and a lot of pent-up anger. I come from a very troubled background of mistrust, suspicion, alcoholism, and lack of. All my siblings have been scarred, including myself. Help. So this is clearly someone who has had a huge amount of trauma in their lives, which is obviously something that we need to address. Having read this, it contains a lot, but it also leaves a lot of blanks, doesn't it? It leaves a lot of question marks. The first thing I would say to this person is, you have really good awareness. You're aware of the fact that you're overthinking. You're aware of the fact that you have pent-up anger. Now, again, it's hard to know whether you have actually really looked at the trauma through the lens of professional help with a therapist. It sounds to me like you have absolutely done some work, because the awareness is high, and that's a really good thing. But having an awareness and not actually channeling that awareness in a way that benefits us can be, ironically, quite frustrating. Because what we want is to actually take this consciousness, this ability to be aware of what is going on inside. For example, this pent-up anger. So knowing that you have pent-up anger, and then choosing to find a way to release it that is healthy, that isn't maladaptive, that isn't through alcohol or through some kind of unhealthy relationship, but actually choosing a way to release that. Perhaps it is through talk therapy, perhaps it's through journaling, perhaps it's through movement, yoga, releasing from the body. Finding a way, I think, would really help you. I also want to express just how brave it is for you to write into me, and just to give you my compassion that I'm so sorry that you had this background, this childhood, that it is, and it sounds like it must have been just incredibly traumatic. And I'm so sorry that you had to go through that. But I do want you to know that it doesn't have to define you, that you are, yes, you are scarred from it, but you are not broken. And so many times over the years, people will express a feeling of being broken, of hopelessness. But like I've said before, no matter what you've been through, no matter what difficulties you've been through, you can, with time, with patience, with self-compassion, and with love, start to move forward, to let go. But you can only let go of something when it has been fully processed. So that really kind of answers the question in terms of, I find it so hard to let go. Well, what is it that you need to specifically let go of? Obviously there's relationships in there. Perhaps it's a case of writing some letters to these people, not necessarily ever to give them, but to release that frustration that hurt and that pain within inside of you. So we're just touching on certain things, but I would say to you, there's a lot of hope here. There's a lot of positive in the sense that you have this awareness, and let's really help you to channel it in a way that will help you to liberate yourself and return to who you are, that sense of consciousness and presence that is untarred, is pure and is beautiful. So thank you for that question, and I hope it has resonated with other people here today in terms of whatever backgrounds we've had, and some are certainly more traumatic than others, but within all of our childhoods, even the ones that seem most perfect and ideal, there are going to be things that we need to work on and to let go. So I'm sending you lots of love, and have a great week, and thanks for being here. Bye.